Alright, son, you just arrived at the toughest game in the world right now, and you better pay close attention if you want to succeed. This is Mud and Blood Recon, and the definition of this game is unfair,
Go. God damn it, Francis, no.
random,
Whoa! Watch out! Fuck me!
brutality.
Based on the screen, my experience, I think the fire base is in this direction.
This is the main commanding interface, and the buttons going from top left and counterclockwise are the calendar. You've been assigned for this operation for a 1-year tour, and this calendar shows you exactly how many days you have left. You can click it in order to skip some days if you want to let your soldiers rest and burn off some heat. The team management panel. Over here you can see your available rangers and their stats. You can clip them in order to add them to your current active squad. The squad must have exactly 4 rangers. The memo inbox. Over here you'll receive everything related to military bureaucracy and administration, and you'll be forced to make decisions regarding to them. You can always relax with a cup of coffee while reading the wiki of the game. These dog tags get you to the commander profile. Over here you can see all your stats as a commander and whatever medals you have earned. With a little bit of luck, your stats as a commander will go from something like this to something more of the lines like this. A very important stat as a commander is the merit stat. This represents the chance for you to be reallocated to another tour at the end of this current year tour. If your merit stat is not high enough, then you'll not be reallocated, so your game is over. Finally, there is the reset button. Be careful not to click that, as it will reset your current profile. In the upper right corner you have the telephone, which shows your current intel and heat as well as what they mean. And finally, you can always play the cassette player for some Vietnam tunes. Now, in the middle of your interface you have the map of the operation, and over here you can select whatever missions you want to take part of. By clicking the mission, you'll be taken to the mission briefing interface. Over here you can see the details of the missions as well as the intelligence briefing. If you have extra intel and you want to reveal a specific information about the mission, you can click the buyout button. When you're ready, press go. Alright guys, we are now on the helicopter heading towards the battlefield. Over here is the squad customization panel. From here you can select whatever weapons and gear each and every one of your soldiers will have, and you can also allocate certain skill points to any of your soldiers. I'll leave you to experiment with the weapons with the gear, but it's very important that at least one of your soldiers has a radio. Just like last time, whenever you feel ready, press go. You'll be dropped off somewhere in Laos, 1969. As soon as you hit the ground, you'll become Overt, which is represented by this red skull up here. So you'll want to clear the LZ before the VCs arrive. In order to move your soldiers, you can select them by clicking them and then click wherever you want them to move. Alternatively, you can select them by pressing 1, 2, 3 or 4. You can also move them in bulk by pressing 5 and then clicking where you want them to move. Alternatively, you can move your guys in a formation. In order to do that, you must first position them in the formation that you want them to move, then press 6, and that will allow them to move in the formation. But be careful, in order for them to move in the formation, they must all be within each other's line of sight. Now that things have calmed down, let's check out what other options we have available for our soldiers. On the top right corner of the screen you have 4 buttons. These are, from up to down, the Covert Overt indicator. This one shows you whether or not your mission is currently covert or overt, and also how much time you have spent in your mission by being stealthy. At the same time, this also shows you your current heat, and you can also click it if you want to go overt. Afterwards, you have the mute button, which you can press in order to mute the sounds of the war. Below that is the pause button. You can press that button in order to pause the game. Be careful that once you've done that, you cannot click your soldiers or scroll around the screen. Further below that is the halt button. You can press that in order to tell all your soldiers to stop in their tracks. This one is especially useful when you're spotting an enemy. And finally, you have the time indicator. This tells you the current time in the location. Speaking about scrolling around, you can look around your screen using WSD or the arrow keys. Another very important command is the M command, which opens up the map. Over here you can see where the main LZ is, as well as the position of all your rangers. If you hover over one of your soldiers, you'll be able to see the following information: a picture of his lovely face, his name, his health indicator, his ammo indicator, his bulkness indicator, and his rank. Below that you can see what weapon he currently has and whatever gear you have decided to equip him with. On the bottom right corner of the screen you have the orders panel. Here you have the following options: The weapons free button. You can click this button in order to tell all your rangers to engage any target they see fit. The use gear button. This button is extremely important in order to allow your soldiers to use whatever the gear they have been equipped with. This includes things like grenades, medical equipment, and most importantly, the radio. By clicking the radio, you'll be brought up the radio command panel. From here you can see all the options that you can order from the radio. Afterwards, you have the carry button. You can use that to carry any of your wounded or dead soldiers. Remember, we are not leaving anyone behind. Afterwards, you have the collect button. You can use that to collect any intel from any dead VCs or VC assets. And finally, you have the use secondary option. You can press that button in order to tell your soldier to switch to their secondary weapon. While you are in the jungle, there are a number of things that you should take into consideration. For example, tracking. As you move around, you may notice that your rangers do leave tracks behind. You can click them and then click the track in order to remove it if you don't want the VCs to follow you around. Alternatively, you can also find the VCs by checking out their track. You are also not in control of the weather, so you can see a variety of different weather effects as you move around. For example, this time is raining. Also, if you stay too long in the jungle, nightfall will come around. Finally, things like trees and rocks can be used to block the line of sight. You can use them in order to break off pursuit from VCs. When you have completed a mission or just felt that you had enough, go and request a dust off of the main LZ from the radio panel. Once you have finished the mission, you'll be greeted with a patrol report. Over here you can see the overall stats of the mission, such as how many enemies you have spotted and killed, how stealthy the mission was, how much of the map you have covered, and how much hit you have gained. Also in the lower part of the panel you'll see how much experience you have gained as a commander and how much intel you have got for the future mission. Unfortunately for this time we have failed the mission, but maybe we'll be successful next time. Also, your soldiers will gain experience as they move along. Finally, you must not forget that this is Mud and Blood Recon, not Mud and Blood Rambo. Going out there shooting everyone would only grab you a lot of heat, which will eventually get you killed. But through patience, perseverance, and a little bit of luck, you might just be assigned to another tour. Did I make myself clear?
Yes, sir!
Alright, I'll see you on the battlefield, Commander.